elbow grease into it, right? I mean, those wheels, geez, they got to be what, 20 years old? Anyway, I got 3 more to go. Well, I guess we gotta get some lights on. Oh, let there be light. Oh, well, should we take a take a peek outside? Oh, yeah. I want to take this whole thing out because I've got an HVAC unit to go in here and a heater core to go in there, so I want to take the outer and the inner off. I know that this thing splits right here, but I want to try and figure out how to take this box out of here without having to dissect it inside the truck, because there's not that many bolts on this thing, you know, and the unit can come out. You got to pop off a couple of electrical plug-ins, no big deal, you know, your hoses, stuff like that. I'm going to put shut-offs in each of my hoses. See, I just got a clamp on each one of them right now to shut them off, but I want to pick out my very best hoses that I got. You know, this ain't a high budget deal, but anyway, I need to use up some of the stuff that I got. I've got shut-offs, and I want to figure out the best hose I have for that. Anyway, I'm trying to get those boxes out. There's one more bolt down in the very back. See where the blower motor is? Clear back there. That's the outside wall of your cab right there. So that blower motor's, if you think about it, is clear to the outside, right? Well, look right there to the right where that little dog bone is at. There's a bolt sticking through there. That means, see, that outside box has been reluctant to come off. Well, of course it is, because there's one more bolt in it. They left a bunch of the easy bolts off, you know, but down in the bottom there was some bolts missing, so I'm gonna have to come up with something. I gotta figure out which thread they are. So a lot of these trucks were what I call half breeds, you know, and that started back in the late 70s, where they were part metric, part American thread, and so you got to figure out what's what, you know. Some of the body bolts seem like they're, you know, 1/2 inch, 9/16, 3/8, whatever, and then some of them you got to grab a metric socket or they don't fit right. Anyway, we got to get at that bolt. There's no way to get at that bolt back there, right? From up here. Well, this is a K30. Now, I don't know if the half tons are this way or whatever. I took a couple bolts out of it already. There's a little panel right here, and I got a feeling that that's an access panel back to that bolt back there. We got one more to take off, and we can look right in there and find out. See, now that bolt is like a 9/16 or a, I can't see the end of it, almost looks like metric. The other two were 1/2 inch. Gotta get a different socket. Okay, 2 of them 1/2 inch, the other one's 9/16. Yeah. Hang on a second before I get too far. Pretty rusty. Right now is the time to hit that. You know, and these up here too. Here's kind of a cool tool. They're so proud of how cool this is, they don't even put a name on it anywhere. Anyway, it's in like those, you know, $6.99 grab box things, or a help count deal or whatever, in your parts store. I bet that's got glue on it, doesn't it? I don't want to destroy the panel, but it doesn't do any good to have bolts in it if you can't take it off. Yeah, see how easy it is to get distracted? All you gotta do is want to do something up here, and then you gotta take this off so you can get that in there, so you can actually take the piece off that you want. Look. Yeah, plenty of meat on the brake shoes. Rotors look pretty nice. Got a good dust shield on it. The only thing is, I wish these inner axles were more serviceable. No greaser on the U-joints in there. They are loose, but they are loose. Nothing's wrong with any of it, so it's all in nice condition. Okay, let's finish getting this done then. At least we know now. I mean, you just buy a rig like this, or that's the first thing you should do is yank the wheels off of it and make sure you got lug nuts and lug bolts on every wheel. Check the brakes, check your bearing runouts. Your kingpins on this is kind of a bearing ball joint like deal. Looks like it all. I haven't done anything like this in a long time, other than, well, my Kenworth was built a little bit like this, except for it wasn't four-wheel drive. But it had bolts and stuff to take your upper knuckles apart. That's alright. Anyway, I'll show you where we're at. We're just going to drill out a couple more spot welds here, and then that panel will come off and we'll be able to access that last bolt. Then my panel will always be removable, you know. I'll have to weld up some holes, but big deal, right? Well, not exactly what I was really looking for. I didn't want to cut another hole. You know, that's fine. I'll trim it out and clean it all up and rust proof it while I'm here, but boy, I don't need to do any more body work. You know, we're trying to put this thing back together. Alright, I'm pretty sure that last bolt's gonna be accessible from here as soon as I get this cut out. It's not exactly what we thought, that's for sure. You know, so I gotta take this bolt out anyway, get this panel out of the way, figure out what I can cut out and what I gotta leave. We'll just cut inside the bolt lines for now and throw a little silicone on the panel and bolt it back up there again. Before we gotta make a little bit bigger exterior panel to cover our sins. Yeah, we're making a couple of pieces here. This is the one that I had in there already, bolted in. And you can kind of see I'm gonna have to put a couple of bends up through here, kind of fading out towards the top. This piece fits in there. When I tighten this bolt here, this pulls down and it forms to that. a guy will have to hit that a couple of times with the hammer when it's in there. This is what we need to build. So it's got to, you know, I can put my fingers back here and hold them. I can put my fingers back here and hold it, you know. So that's how far away. We got to do a bunch more for them, and this is what I've come up with for this panel. You can see that this is not flat and straight at all. A little bit of hammer forming kind of thing, right? We just take our railroad iron and our newly found friend there and go to work, right? Make it do what you want it to do. Okay, right? We can weld it up to here, and then hammer form it the rest of the way. It's not perfect, but it's sure gonna work nice. Okay. Now we got our piece tacked in, right? 2 tacks here, and this is a little ways away from the base metal it needs to go to, so I'll take my grinder and just kind of trim that a little bit and force it back and get everything form fitted, and then finally tack it in. Let's get our screws in up here first. Much over there, you know. Okay, that's going to take just a smidgen right here. We're almost done. It always works better if there's a ground. Let's see here. Let's try going right to the bumper. Let's see, the body is supposed to all be grounded. Let's see, you're going to be running your welding ground through body grounds, though. That ain't real good. Yeah. We'll try it right there. I don't think it's going to ground, though. That was wrong. I have 16. Okay, there's the new panel. It used to only be this big. Actually, this piece is a little bit bigger than the stock piece that I cut out of there, but that, you know, not by much. Anyway, that was the original piece. I added this piece on it, and you can see the curvature in that. You know, if you don't think that you can do body work, maybe you're right, maybe you're not. Maybe you should give it a try and see. You know, it just depends on what it is. If you're trying to build a car to go to SEMA, well, you might want to get somebody who's, you know, a professional body guy if you are not. But if you're just wanting to build a driver like I am, and you're putting in indiscriminate panels like this, you know, that's a good place for me to practice up. You know, that floor over there, cab corners were a little bit more intricate, but yeah, try it out. You know, if you don't like it and it doesn't work for you, or you don't really want to buy the tools for it, I did all of this with a little miniature piece of railroad iron and cheap set of body hammers, one decent body hammer, and the rest was just regular shop tools, ball peens, stuff like that. Not very many hammers either. You know, not too bad for a beginner. And I am 3 weeks behind on my project, and I've only been working on it 2 weeks. How does that work? Anyway, finished grinding the access panel, prep for paint, close enough. We got to remove the AC box next. I want to show you how that panel turned out. Dash pad, we got to do that. We are way off on that. Got gloves, paid water bill. Okay, not a lot done here, it seems like. Anyway, this is how we turned out. Not too complicated, but you know, very curved panel to make, but you know, it's an inconspicuous spot so a guy can practice, right? So anyways, there's our access hole. Oh, we got it backwards. There we go. Right? We were able to cut, you know, a nice big piece out of there, and by God, guess what? There is what we're after right there. See it? So it came out right. It's like I thought. Now a guy can do anything he wants to as far as the HVAC in this vehicle goes, right? I got that bungee cord. You can use it kind of almost as a makeshift lift. Makes it easy to pull this out. This ain't all that heavy, it's just awkward. Alright, nice. That's what it looks like, that's how it's built. So if you know how it's built, it's easier to take it apart. Alright, there's where that last bolt was at. And you see the hole. This is from the other side, right? Now we can get that bolt anytime we want. You know, the rest of this, boy, look at all that cleanup that needs to be done on that. Whew. Yeah, we're gonna have to get it done. We gotta paint today, man. I gotta throw up a little plastic over here in this big opening. Try and contain the garbage. I'm buffing off of this. You know, you don't have to strip this down to bare metal. You know, you gotta put a sealer on you know, a silicone or something like that on your box before you mount it. You can use this for filler and stuff, you know, especially on a driver truck like this. We can come back and touch this up later. I might even be able to find some of this bronze paint and kind of blend it a little bit. Just paint right over the top of it if you have to, but you gotta knock this all down to where it's at least flat, you know. So anyway, I didn't want all that crap flying inside the truck because I'm planning on painting it here in about 30 minutes. So I got one more hole to plug right here. See what I'm doing with the bubble wrap? I've got a piece of this cheapy Harbor Freight tread thing you can stand on, fatigue mat, whatever, over my existing paint. Now I'm going to grind off all that garbage on the front, and I'm using this plastic to keep it sealed up so I don't have to clean this so much. You know, it all falls on the ground out here. You can see it. I mean, dust and dirt and stuff like that's fine, but old insulation and whatever's in those boxes, you know, this is what the inside of that one box looks like. Look at all that corrosion. And that thing was leaking antifreeze, hot antifreeze inside your vehicle where you're breathing. Man, that stuff is toxic bad. And then this is your AC unit. This wasn't being utilized anymore. But I want to put a new radiator in here while I got this apart. Clean this all up, put a new cooler in here, cap it, so later on when I want to use this system, all I gotta do is uncap the new fittings out there and attach my hoses to my new pump and the new system. You know, I want to take and inspect this. It's one of those yellow and blue motors. Hopefully it's okay. I don't got a lot of faith in those guys anymore. Here is our AC system with our blower motor. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on blower motors and stuff. Then we're going to clean all of these boxes out and put it all together so our environment is as nice and decent as we possibly can. You know, isn't the way you want to go? I mean, really, you know, talk about other people. How about yourself? You want to breathe good, clean air.